right? Strategic analysis, strategic strategy formulation, as well as strategy implementation, right? So these three key things. And they correspond to a definition of what strategy is about. Analyzing, deciding, and acting on certain sets of decisions in order to move your organization forward. Right? The key thing in strategy, remember, is always about creating competitive advantage. What is competitive advantage? We've drawn this curve many times, right? Remember, first, the customer's willingness to pay, going down into your opportunity cost, right? So the idea is to be able to maximize this opportunity cost. Whether you're playing on a low cost differentiation strategy, maybe you have a lower cost base, right? And then you reduce your prices, lower price, willingness to pay. So this is like a low cost differentiation strategy. Or you can do a focus strategy, or you do a differentiation strategy. For instance, in other differentiation strategy, because of your how differentiated your product is or your brand is, you might increase the willingness to pay. Then you can afford to have maybe a higher cost base, right? Or maybe you can keep even lower cost base by doing a multiple strategy approach. Okay, so a combination strategy. Maybe you bring your opportunity cost down. Okay, so where is competitive advantage? You define it as the area between these two. Okay, competitive advantage is how much are you able to push your cost down while increasing your customers' willingness to pay. Okay, the more you have of this, the more you have of profit. Okay, so competitive advantage directly generates profit for you. That's how it works. Strategic analysis is the first part of strategy. It's about highlighting and trying to focus on a set of goals. Okay, in a second we'll show you about this hierarchy of goals, right? But it's actually saying, where do we want to be? What do we want to be about? In answering this question, in conducting strategic analysis, you will need to look both at your internal as well as external environment. Right? Most companies, or many companies, unfortunately, look either too much internally. Let's look only at our strengths. And some companies just look outside. Let's look at our weaknesses, or let's look at our threats or opportunities. Right? Good strategy incorporates a view of both internal and external environment. Afterwards, after doing this analysis, you will naturally lead into strategic decision making, where you ask yourself, what are some of the industries you want to compete in? What kind of business do you want to be? What kind of what's your basis for competition? Where are your sources of competitive advantage? Within this process, when you are forming strategy, the strategy is really a result of your intended strategy. You start off over here, and you make plans. Deliberately, let's head towards this direction. That's a deliberate strategy. But things happen, right? Sometimes your strategy is not successfully implemented, it becomes an unrealized strategy. And sometimes market forces change, new competitors come in, regulations change, and you need to develop an emergent strategy along the way. And finally, what your realized strategy is a result of each of these things. Your deliberate strategy, what the parts which are unrealized, as well as the things that you need to kind of deal with on an improvisation basis. Okay, so that gives you your realized strategy. We talked about goals. Remember the hierarchy of goals. You start off, in order to set a direction for where you want your organization to be, you need to first decide what's your vision. What kind of organization do you want to be? How do you want to impact the world? How do you want to change the world? Then you have to decide how do you formulate your mission statement in order to reach this goal of yours. Okay? When we talk about vision, of course the vision should be more general, more all-encompassing, more inspirational, right? Whereas a mission should be very specific. Okay, we will beat Coca-Cola, right, by 2013 or whatever it is. Okay? And then you have your strategic objectives. In order for us to achieve our mission, we must first deploy a new distribution force. We must hire a new set of product development experts. We must launch a new marketing program, right? See, these are things that you do. Individual strategic objectives in order to achieve your mission that helps you to realize this vision of the future for yourself. Okay? So that's the hierarchy of goals. Along this hierarchy of goals, you will see that as you head towards the vision, they tend to be broader, more general, more all-encompassing, whereas strategic objectives need to be very specific. Right? Remember, when we talk about objectives, even whether on a corporate basis or on a personal basis, they should be smart goals, right? Specific, very measurable goals, very realistic goals, very timely goals, and so on. Okay. And at the same time, vision tends to, when you're doing visioning, they tend to be of a longer time horizon. So way into the future, we want to be like this, or we want our world to look like this. Whereas objectives tend to be shorter. So in this quarter, what will you achieve? What's your profits? What's your sales? Right? Within this this week, or how many sales calls are you going to make, these things, okay, tend to be shorter in the